In this video, we're going to look at the components that make up a Xamarin.Forms application. There are two types you will work with in the cross-platform code to build your Xamarin.Forms app: the application class and pages. The application class is the cross-platform entry point to your app. It is located and used by the platform-specific code to initialize the application. And the project template will always create a derived class from the application type. It will point to the first page of the application. The page is used to display a single screen to the user. It defines the UI either in code or markup and provides the behavior for the screen. The application class will always identify the starting page through a property. You can then create other pages to navigate to through various built-in mechanisms. Our code typically starts in the application class. Each application has one instance of the application class. The system enforces this through a singleton pattern. The default project templates create a custom class that derives from the Xamarin.Forms application class, and you can reach it from anywhere in the application through the application current static property. There are several interesting things available on the application singleton, including virtual methods related to lifecycle notifications, the main page property, which references the currently displayed screen. You assign this property to control what is being visualized on the screen. And events that are raised as navigation happens in the application, as well as basic support for persisting application state. One thing to note here is that Windows projects have an application class as well, and Android has an application type. Be careful not to confuse these same name types as you work with your Xamarin.Forms app. The application class provides lifecycle methods that can be used to manage persistence and refresh your data. The lifecycle methods are virtual methods your derived app class can override. The default template creates these overrides for you. There are three methods. You want to use the Onstart Override to initialize your application's data. This method is called when the app is first launched, so it's a great place to load data for your application. This could come from persistent storage or be loaded from a web service. The second method is onSleep. This is called when the application was active, but the user switches to another application. We sometimes refer to this as backgrounding. This is where you'll want to save any data that the user has entered into your screens. When you receive this notification, the user has already left the application, but it is still in memory. Xamarin.Forms does not have a notification for app termination, so onSleep is your last chance to save your application state. Finally, we have the Onresume method. This is called when the user switches back to your application. This is not a new launch event. The application was already in memory, but idle because it was in the background. You often don't need to do much in this method. The one thing you might want to do here is refresh your screen with current data. For example, consider a weather application. If it's suspended and then resumed, the data on the screen could be hours or even days old. So applications that display external volatile data, which changes over time, should use this notification to refresh their data. The application class also provides a built-in persistence mechanism in the form of a string-to-object property bag. Because application is a global singleton, you can access this property bag from anywhere in your application code. The key can be any string, and the data must be an intrinsic serializable type, such as strings, numeric values, or dates. There is currently no built-in mechanism to provide serialization for custom types. So if you need that, try serializing your types to a string with JSON or XML and then store that. The properties dictionary is saved to the device automatically, but the timing is controlled by Xamarin.Forms. If you want to force the dictionary to be saved to the device, for example, after important changes are made, you can call the Save Properties Async method.